Yeah,
Hi, welcome to Breakfast with Cece. Today, I think for the last time, I'm going to be sitting here at Palomar 5, which is, a bittersweet kind of thing. And I'm sitting here with Tori Hogan, who's a really inspiring and remarkable young woman. How do you feel about being called a young woman? Because in some ways, I feel like you are a woman who has really like a not a lifetime of professional experience, but a professional career already behind you.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't really care about semantics, so it doesn't bother me at all to be called a young woman. At heart, I am still quite young. I look 18, even though I'm 27, and I have the life experience of like a 50-year-old. So it doesn't really matter what you call me. I'm just Tori in a way, but yeah, it's a little bit weird sometimes to compare with my peers and what they've been doing for the last 10 years or so and what I've been doing. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But we all take different paths. Yeah.
This is true. This is really true. You work a lot in the field of aid and development, and you're really interested in telling stories about aid and development. And I guess to bring it back to this whole thing of being young, there's a real push in the world to capture the energy of youth and use that to change the world.
Yeah.
Do you think that is actually the way to change things, or is that just sort of like exciting? Just that young people are exciting?
No, that's a really good question. And when I started making films about international aid and how it could be better, because I started working in the field and realized that it was crap.
Yeah.
And when I was trying to decide how I target these films, I realized I couldn't fix the donors, not yet. They're not ready for it. And I couldn't necessarily get tapped into people who were doing the aid projects. They were a little bit closed off to criticism. But young people were really excited to hear about new ideas, new approaches, like changing the world. Like, they wanted this stuff. So I targeted all of them to like 18 to 30-year-olds, and it's been really successful. Now, in terms of whether or not that is going to translate into like long-term change in the aid industry, time will tell.
Yeah.
The problem of going for the younger generation is that you don't always see immediate results. Sometimes you're investing in like a changed lens or new mindset, hoping that 10 years later when they're in power, they're going to be doing things differently. So I kind of am just like crossing my fingers and hoping this was the right approach.
That's a really beautiful way to put it. Sometimes when I see like youth initiatives, to me it just seems like sexy. Like young people under 21, under 30, and it looks good, and they put like some hip hop or electro music on top of it,
Yeah.
and everybody has like a party, and then nothing happens. But when you look at it from the perspective of actually like the less sexy way of like actually there's no immediate results because you're just changing minds.
Yeah.
That's a really exciting and positive way to look at making change.
Yeah, it feels good to me, even though it goes against what the aid industry actually usually does, which is looking for short, immediate, visible results.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't get that satisfaction at all. But every time someone sees the film and I get another email about, wow, this really changed the way I think about this stuff. It's amazing.
We're leaving at 11.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't have said shush. We're just shooting a film right now. Yeah, that's okay.
Thanks, Hans.
Yeah, thanks, Hans. We're leaving at 11 to go on this like community building thing. And I guess
Can we build anymore?
Can we build any more? That's what I would like. I think that's what all of us
I'm
are
just
feeling.
so close to everything.
I know. That's kind of what we're all feeling. And I guess my final thing to you would be, you've spent so much of your life traveling all around the developing world. When you come back to America, or you come to a place like a completely all paid for German think tank with a fridge stocked full of beer and buy an aid, how do you adjust to a situation like that?
The hardest thing that I ever deal with when I come back from the developing world is the cereal aisle in America. I mean, to see the number of choices we have, it just blows my mind. But like beyond that, just like the comfort that I enjoy at home, or like the consistency and the being a predictability of my life and my world, just makes me so grateful in a way. I just have such a sincere amount of gratitude for what I have. But there's really no good way to adjust. I feel like I live in both worlds all the time, and so it's not like I turn on and turn off. I just am in both worlds all the time. You know. So it's not. It doesn't feel like a transition. It's not like I go through reverse culture shock every time I come and go. But probably it's partially because I've been all over. I mean, I don't even know how many places in the developing world I've been. Maybe like 40 or something like that, 50. I don't know. So it's like consistent. It's within every few months I'm like back in more difficult circumstances, living a little bit more like the rest of the world lives. You know, I mean, we think that we're the norm, but we're totally not.
No,
most people aren't living the way that we do. So yeah, it doesn't feel like a transition for me. And it just gives me perspective and appreciation.
I think the biggest thing I've picked up on that is that when you said you don't turn on and you don't turn off, you just are, and that's because anything people do is just a metaphor for what everybody else is doing, and maybe it shouldn't be about turning on and turning off, but really we should focus on like just kind of like what you is going to say in the next interview of like you should be able to find the value somewhere in whatever you're doing because no matter what it is, it's not actually boring and it's not actually without meaning. You just have to find the meaning in it.
Absolutely. Well, if you do what you love, it's always there, right?
Yeah. We just have to remember to do what we love.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your inspiration and your just like gentle, warm focus.
Oh, thanks.
Because it's gentle strength. That's what it is. So thanks a lot. And coming up next, we're going to be talking to you.
Can I also ask questions, or is it one way?
Oh, that's a really good idea. Well, I'll start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sitting here with Joop, who's actually a storyteller, but he's trying to tell stories in an interesting, new way. And Joop, the first question I'm going to ask you maybe is completely unrelated to your kind of storytelling, but do you want to live forever?
No, not at all. No. I really like when there is like a deadline, as in project.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Because if you can live forever, then I think it takes away the fun of living. Because you need black to have white. There's also always this contrast.
Yeah.
And if you don't have this time limit, then why? I think it's more fun to live if you die in the end. If you know you die. If you every day you think maybe this is my last day, then you enjoy it more. But if you know I have like thousands of days or endless days to come, then. But I would like to I find it an interesting experiment though, as a human experiment, if it can be done. That would be
really interesting.
As an art experiment or something.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Well, art is just practice for life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. You wanted to ask me some questions, so I'm really curious to find out what you want to know.
The first one I want to ask is very based in this moment. How was the spa yesterday, or didn't you go?
We went to a spa, and it was unbelievable. It was really relaxing. Everything about it was designed as an incredible sensory experience. To have this floating saltwater pool, very dark light with light shifting across the surface of this circular pool, a huge dome on top. You put your head in the water and you're floating, and you listen to music, and it was beautiful and meditative. They had this sort of shamanistic Finnish sauna set up where they were putting different infusions on the hot rocks and just steaming us. That was incredible, and we did salt rubs. And then the most amazing thing happened. I was sitting with our friend Nastya, who's from St. Petersburg in Russia, and we were talking. She told me an incredibly moving story from her life. And just when she finished, we held hands, we looked up, we were outside, we had just come out of this unbelievable sauna experience, we're cooling off, and we saw, I was like, what's that? And we looked, and it was a comet streaking across the sky.
Serious?
Yeah.
Whoa. I missed that experience.
There'll be others coming for you.
Mm-hmm. I think it's all week, so.
Well, do do you regret missing out on things, or do you have another take on it?
Actually, I was thinking about it yesterday because we really felt a little bit grounded. We grounded ourselves because we needed to do the presentation.
Yeah.
And everyone was going to this nice spa. But I think some experiences are really special, but almost if you can't find the special in the everyday experience, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
So you need to look for it, maybe sometimes a little bit harder than if you are in a sensory overload spa. But
Yeah.
I think,
Or a sensory overload social experiment.
yeah. So I think, yeah, it's important. And then just live in this moment, because otherwise you are still with your head in the spa, but with your body in here. So
Yeah.
it fights you up.
Cool. Well, I'm really excited to see, not what you do on Monday, because Monday doesn't matter, but I'm really excited to see what you do with the rest of your life, because I know it's going to be very interesting and very exciting for all of us. Thanks for talking with me.
Thank you. Is this, did you do that every week or
Yeah, on Sunday.
on Sunday?
Yeah.
So
Every Sunday
it's like
morning.
a ritual.
Hi, welcome back. I'm sitting here with Axel, who is an artist and a former media professional, but actually maybe a current media professional as well. And Axel, do you want to travel through time?
To travel what?
Through time.
Why? To do, it depends, to go where?
Okay, where would you want to go?
Where do you want to go?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I'd be really interested. I would go anywhere. If somebody offered me to go through time, I would go anywhere that they would take me. But really where I want to go, I would want to go to 1490. I would want to go to 1490. And
Where? In Italy?
No, South America or North America. I'd want to go anywhere in the Americas in 1490 and just see what it's like. And where else? The Middle Ages in Europe, but I think it'd be very dangerous, but I'd be really curious to see during the Black Death.
I wanted to propose you disco and all this stuff, but you're more interested in another part of time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess for the future is a big question, so I would want to see if the future is the way I see it. But I think the difference between the future and the past is that we can affect the future, we can't affect the past. So the past would be more like just confirming that the books are true. And the future would be more like wanting to see if what I'm doing today is the right thing to do,
Based on what?
based on what the future looks like.
So to decide if your actions are good or not, you think it would be a good idea to decide based on...
The future. Yeah. Or no, maybe good and bad are bad words to evaluate, but just...
Well, I don't believe in future and past, I just believe in moment and present, so... It doesn't make any sense for me, actually. That's why
Really?
it's very ironic for me to be there, because for me the future is max tomorrow, because planning is dying. So why is the breakfast is always about time?
It's not always about time, but
Why with me it's about time?
because we have a time machine here, and I realized that a really good way to make a connection with a person really fast, instead of asking them a question like, how are you today, or do you like breakfast, is to ask them things like, do you want to live forever?
You think it's the best way to create a quick connection with someone? No, because it doesn't create anything between you and me. You learn something about me, but it doesn't create something specific between you and me.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
What if you ask the same question back?
Why? I don't want to ask you this question. If
Okay.
I want to know you, I will first ask you why you decide that this breakfast would be about time, why you want to do your action based on the future. I will ask questions about you.
Interesting.
But to try to know who you are and act in consequence of what I heard from you to create a specific relationship with you.
Yeah.
I will probably ask different questions to you or Rice because I don't feel the same vibe with them. So to be sure that I create a specific relationship with all of you, I will ask different questions, try to find their interest. For instance, I know that this subject is your favorite subject forever, so I probably ask something about that. Yup, about his ego. It's a very egocentric person, so we talk about his lazy ego and how big he is. Yeah. And Heiss, probably design. And everything you don't say between the lines, something like that. So I don't think you have one question that you can use for any person in the world, for any situation. It's